hard as the bench she sat on, daring her to stop me. But she was staring at Jesus in the stained glass window, her unused handkerchief held firmly in both long-fingered hands. I picked the daisies out of the sprays, one by one by one. Heart thumping, I sat down on the red-carpeted steps and made a daisy chain, weaving the stems in and out, reminding me of the number 8, and how Mama said we were like that, winding around and through each other, not sure where one picked up and the other left off. Pastor Dave must have given up on his speech because he stopped talking again, and after a short silence the organist started "In the Garden," which I recognized from one of Mrs. Green's Elvis records. Everyone stood, a commotion of creaking wood and turning pages, like they were glad for some direction. I set the daisy crown right on top of the closed coffin lid, where Mama's head rested underneath, and then walked past Grandma, past all those other people who were studying their hymnals, singing for dear life, right past Mrs. Green, who reached out her hand so that I could brush mine against it, palm to palm. The singing quieted as the door shut behind me. I sat down on the cold concrete steps under the eaves and watched the slush come down. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, drowning out the never-ending hymn. Lacey followed and sat next to me, quiet. She took my hand in hers, our fingers intertwined like a chocolate and vanilla swirl. I leaned my head on her shoulder. "Sisters forever," she said. I couldn't make a sound, so I just nodded. It took Grandma 256 Mississippis to come outside. I didn't care it took her so long, though, because I had a Mama who never would have let me get past 10. We knew how to save each other. Chapter 2. Birds of Sorrow. Mama said she started living the day I was born, and when I was little, I took that as the literal truth. It was only ever the 2 of us, so I figured the stork dropped us down as a pair. The very first picture in our family photo album was of her, sitting up straight in the white sheets of a hospital bed, looking down at my little pink face and curly brown hair like she couldn't quite figure out where I came from, but she was happy just the same. No childhood pictures of her, none of her pregnant, just her and me in that hospital bed, dropped down together from some kind of heaven. When I got to school, of course, I saw that most people had all manner of relatives. I didn't have to change my theory much, though. I decided that me and Mama were alone because the other pieces of our family broke off somewhere on the way down, and if Mama kept moving us around like she did, we'd run into them somewhere. By that time I was 7, and had been telling anyone who asked about my theories on the stork and my lost family. But it wasn't until 2nd grade, when I gave Christopher Wales a black eye for telling me I was bonkers, that Mama finally cleared things up. She was working on a junk art bird at the kitchenette table in our tiny apartment, her long blonde hair held back with a clip. Where I always managed to hang out my tongue or squinch my eyes when I was concentrating, Mama's face was still and pretty. She'd been building junk art birds, mostly cranes, since before I was born. Making those birds was a cross between pure love and a nervous habit, the way some might do crossword puzzles or needlepoint. She sold them in the restaurants where she worked, or at small flea markets and coffee shops for a little extra money. I thought they were the most beautiful creatures I'd ever seen, and always felt a twinge when they flew away to their forever home, wishing we'd find ours. She patted the metal folding chair next to her and smiled at me, a closed-lipped smile that hid a crooked tooth. As she went back to work inserting the rivets that closed the small metal body of the bird, she tried to explain a little about how babies come, and that I'd had a daddy and grandparents once. I didn't want to believe her. My stork theory had been with me so long it was almost like a friend. But curiosity about the rest of my family won out. "Where are they?" I said. "Your daddy and grandpa died before you were born." She stopped her riveting and swallowed a bunch of times, like their dying was caught in her throat. It stopped me, too.